it gets tricky when we increase our baseline, our dopamine, when we tend to stack our dopaminic highs, our vices becomes to the next level, to the last hit. I need more. And we tend to rush. The more we're in a rush state, when our body is like tense, desiring the last hit, or topping it off to needing something else to increase that high we feel, then perpetually going back to that low and repeating that cycle. The more we're able to slow down in our way, see the feeling when we feel like that rush, that impulse to feel a next high, a next level, mixing and matching with other things. You need some more of that. It becomes like a stack within a stack. Like, not even needing something else to increase it. Like, the substance itself could be the hub. Watching more weirder videos, like I can't get off to that. Or smoking a J. I'm gonna finish up to the roach. This is gonna be the last. I'm craving that last hit to like just top it off and finish it, and I'm satisfied. Yeah, it's actually what we want is that satisfaction. We're looking for to feel that right moment, that peak, that point. But when we keep adding on to other things, the peak gets higher, the conditions get stronger, the holds, entanglement, we become confined in our own ways, trying to feel that certain way again. But now we're not only battling for that, but we're battling to feel normal. The vicious cycle that keeps us feeling the lows just to feel back normal again. So as you know, the baseline had increased. When we keep on chasing that feeling, that experience externally, we're always going to be faced with the lows, the highs and the lows, and the duality of things. But as within, because as within, so without, that same feeling that we saw after, like we feed for, crave, we could feel that within by being still and just being, breathing, just being centered with oneself, not being bound to or driven for anything outside of you, because you become desireless within. And the feeling of within, that feeling would still pour out externally, and the world would play its part, play its role in providing that experience, that we put conditions in mind, saying if that doesn't go wrong, if that happens, then I'm gonna feel a certain way. But when we release the conditions and are okay with what happens, we're just in our flow. And the flow is the most blissful feeling. It's like childlike. The world becomes our playground, our oyster. And we allow that by allowing ourselves to be and accepting all these substances, drugs, people that we've been lashed on, that we put our energy into it. We put our feelings, our experience, that this is going to be our fix, our fulfillment. But it's a chase, because we're never fulfilled in the external, because it's going to lead to highs and lows and trying to feel normal. But true joy can never be taken away, like within. As going back to the dualistic nature of things, ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of life. Just like love and hate is two sides of the same coin. If something is in the way of what you love, you start to hate that thing. But the true unconditionalness is within that love, where you fill your cup and pour over without having expectations, and your relationships becomes harmonious without being in exchange. Like, you don't look at that person a certain way, or I'm gonna get something out of them. Nah, I have everything within. I'm whole, complete and fulfilled. And that's, you can only get to that when you remove the conditions in mind, those limiting beliefs. Why put a condition on your happiness, your fulfillment? If that job doesn't accept you, you didn't get an interview, that girls reject you, why put those thoughts in mind? You're the one who see that, oh, I'm a fuck up, this is me, I'm bad, like I can't do this and that. Like, you confine yourself. But if you just stay in your stillness, more times than not, it becomes ideal. Like, you, in hindsight, you see the blessing in disguise. That time wasn't meant for you, the opportunity wasn't meant for you. And a lot of times is your internal strength, like your foundation, your nervous system. You can't handle that situation. You haven't centered yourself enough to not be reactive, to not be swayed, to stay in your center, to be focused enough to appreciate and enjoy it. Or you just brush over it into the next high, to the next chase. Like, we were never in the moment to enjoy the presence. True life is the journey. If you look at the iceberg, the tip of it, what we see, the destination, the goal, everything else is below it. Like, the chunk of it, the meat of it is the journey. And the more you're able to slow down, enjoy yourself, you're able to appreciate life, the experience, be fulfilled, be in flow. And that's when you really start tapping into the source of things, the solutions, the ideas, the way to maneuver. You just let things be and you start expressing ideally, because you're not putting blockages, second guessing, walking on eggshells, seeing what they say, or all these other things in mind, those paranoia, thoughts of self-sabotage and doubts. When we're able to be in this moment, not crave, not be frustrated, worried, fearful of what may or may not happen, life becomes perfect and harmony, because the blueprint of things, the foundation of it is pure bliss, fulfilled, like childlike. But we categorize ourselves, we confine ourselves to not see that through our conditions in mind. We're operating with our eyesight, not our mind sight. Because the reality of things is we don't see more than 0.035% of what's out there. So how can you base things, situations, which you start taking like within, like these emotions and identities, not you. You just take it in and play as if. Why play as that role and that character when you could play as that blissful, ideal you, the great you that you're meant to be? And that's only so when you're able to accept all of you, just be and let go. And the world becomes your oyster. It becomes a play of God. You're able to flow in a harmonious manner. You're harmonious with yourself, with others, with places, situations. Things start coming to you, happening for you, not to you. So do yourself a favor and get out of that chase, that desire, that stacking, dopamine stacking, those cheap dopamine habits and chases. Not worth the sacrifice of you, of your true fulfilled enlightenment within.